sir.
Did you?
Smells like a lot of product in here.
Yeah. Product, eh? I did just shower.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have come in with a different odor and we could have been trapped in a small space if you wanted to.
You've never really smelled. I don't think I can ever recall you smelling bad.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
because I've definitely dated other men who
listen,
have not always smelled great.
I'm not the tiniest of fellows. All right. And there's nothing worse than seeing a not so tiny fellow and going, I can smell him before I shake his hand. That's not pleasant for anybody. So I never need to be that guy in the room that people go, does he smell like eggs? Or is it something else in the room? I don't need that. Ever. Like, I wouldn't leave my house then. I'd be like, no, I guess that's it for going out.
But would people know if they smell bad? I don't know if they do.
You just said you dated dudes that smell bad. So
but they might not be aware that they smell bad.
Then they don't have a good friend group. Because someone should lean over and go, bud, you smell bad.
I suppose.
Really? You should.
Yeah. But there's also too much. Like, there's a couple boys over this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I could smell their cologne from the upstairs before I even went down.
So, fun fact, I bet you that's not cologne. I bet you that's like body spray.
Or whatever.
And they're drinking it down.
Oh, yeah. Like, whatever it was so strong from a second floor.
Yeah. Mine, absolutely. We're 2 feet away from each other. So, yeah. And I literally just walked in here from showering. So, apologies if it's a bit unpleasant in terms of power. But I know it smells good.
It's the end of the workday. It's the end of the day. Why are you showering now?
Because I haven't showered yet.
You dressed up and showered.
No, I'm clean clothes. A clean hoodie is dressed up. Like, what happened to us? Literally. No, it's because I didn't shower yesterday. Fun fact. I think we're peeling the curtain back a little bit too much. And then I went to the gym again today and I figured, I don't need to string 2 gym days together with no shower.
You didn't shower after the gym yesterday?
And you didn't notice. Back to your earlier comment, I don't usually stink. So, again, you're welcome.
And you probably didn't work out that hard. If you didn't smell bad and sweat and felt like you needed to shower.
Oh, that's really supportive. Thanks for that.
Good job going to the gym, though.
Yeah. Whatever.
Well, I worked out and I did not shower this morning after my workout. So I know I didn't. Lifting weights, I don't sweat so much. When I do cardio.
Bro, if I take 2 stairs at a time, I got to take a little breather because there's sweat happening. I run hot. I run really hot.
I don't.
I do.
So I went to physio last night. See, you're always like, when are you going to go to the doctor, Caroline? When are you going to go to the doctor? You know, I don't want to say I don't have faith in the medical system because they can be really helpful. But usually, we'll run some blood work. No, your blood work looks good. Or surprise, you're anemic. Let's go for a blood infusion, which I did just have last month. Can't find anything. Let's do more tests. Can't find anything. Let's run some antibiotics. Like, it just never helps. It never goes anywhere. But I went to physio last night. And what did you call it? Like witchcraft?
Yeah, she's a witch. She's a witch.
She put her hand very gently under, so she's standing behind me, put her hand very lightly under my armpit, not even all the way under, just kind of like to the back. And then lightly touched a couple of places on my head, on my neck, on my hip, my hand. And then was like, I got to start with your kidneys. Apparently my kidneys are jammed. And she dug in there, incredible pain. But I have been complaining about this weighted blanket of exhaustion.
For weeks.
Months, I would say.
Yeah, it only went away after a brief window.
Yeah, I would say months. Last infusion a year ago, I felt a little bit better. It was not long-lived. This infusion, maybe for a day, not long-lived. And then I had my concussion a couple weeks ago. That's why I went to see her, because she's a specialist, like in the cranial stuff. But went and saw her, and yeah, like severe whiplash, all this, but it was my kidneys. Literally, what you were there, you picked me up literally immediately. That blanket had been lifted. And today, like, everything's crisper and clearer. My vision is, and I just have like this energy. And even today, someone commented like, wow, you look really good. Like, yeah.
Did she give you cocaine? Because what you're describing is what someone on a party drug would describe.
I know. Like it was absolutely phenomenal. She was just talking about Eastern medicine, how like our life force, I can't remember the exact words, but our energy, our vitality, all of that is really housed in the kidneys.
She's really lucky that she does this in this day and age and not back in like the olden times.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. She would not have survived. Yeah. She would have been on a stake first day open.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. Like the fact that she does, like she treats you like a theremin and then you're healed. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it works.
Yeah. So now I'm just normally tired from only getting like 4 hours sleep.
Yes.
But it's very different. It's a very different.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So you're going to send our children to see the witch.
I am.
What if they get possessed by the devil?
Come on now. Why are you even talking like that?
Because it's funny.
Is it?
Is it not?
I don't think so.
You don't think that? Oh, this might be a different topic altogether. Why do you think it's not funny that I made a joke about our children getting possessed?
I just don't see the humor in it.
Do you feel that that's a real risk?
No.
Well, so what's the issue?
I don't know. It's more offensive than anything, I guess.
Oh, my word. Really?
Well, I don't know if that's the right word, but I just had a little.
You didn't like it?
Didn't like it.
All right. Well, stow that away for useful knowledge later then. Caroline, not down with possession jokes.
In different contexts, maybe.
But not in the context of your physiotherapist or not in the context of this podcast. We really could spend about a half an hour on this.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Just so you know. But we won't.
Okay. What shall we spend this podcast on?
So,
good segue.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm getting good at this.
Anytime.
Getting good at this. So we have talked.
Yes,
I find I always start mine the same way. But anyways, recently we've been talking more and more about tracking and just the openness that the next generation, our kids, share their location, right, with others.
Yeah.
We don't subscribe to that.
No.
When my child leaves my field of vision, they cease to exist until they text me or call me or come back into my field of vision. It's just how I operate.
Totally. Me too. Went out last night, going to bed in the morning. Oh, hey.
There's a child here. Hello, child.
Or is there a child here? I don't know.
Knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. And this, aside from the house cameras, which sometimes give us really amusing footage, we don't really track them that much.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Should we talk about what we just saw this weekend?
Well, we might not see the child again if we bring it up. She'll be upset. Let's just say shenanigans occurred within the range of the cameras.
Yeah.
And thank goodness they're high def and good microphones because it was hilarious.
Yep. Just 2 teenagers holding up one teenager who was not feeling very good.
Yeah, he must have got a bug or something when they were out. That's why they had to come home.
At 2 o'clock in the morning.
Got the flu, 2:46 in the morning to be precise. Yep, so
2:46 was when one of the teenagers left.
You're right, 2:33 was when the incident occurred with the flu. And then the nurse left. The nurse left at about 2:46.
Anywho. It was not our child who was peeking.
No.
She was responsible.
Yeah. She wasn't on the cocaine Brighton like you were. Like she wasn't up and things were crisper and the day was ahead of her.
She was wearing a boy's bucket hat that she picked up along the way.
Weird. Bucket hats shouldn't be out of the house regardless.
She actually looks cute in it.
Oh.
Anyway.
Mom's looks.
Anyway.
So anyways, tracking.
Yes.
I read an article because I can read. And it was talking about parents that continue to track their kids after they become adults.
Oh my goodness.
Here it is. I knew you love this one. So I think we can probably safely say that your stance on this is no bueno for tracking in general.
No.
But what's your initial reaction to parents that continue to rationalize tracking their kids when they are adults?
It should just never happen. Although I do see the benefit, but it's once in a rare while. It's like, oh, how far is dad away? Like my mom is always like, oh, your father's on the block. But then she's like, oh, he's turning this corner. Oh, he's like, I legit just want to know. But then I can just fire a text. How far away? When should I start making dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is bonkers. And the fact that they are like, even on Saturday night, Maya's like, oh, Mike is 10 minutes away. I'm like, how do you know that? Because she tracked, like they track each other.
Yeah. They track
each
other.
This need for certainty all the time, this need for certainty or something. I don't know. It's just not healthy.
No. And so the rationalization of it is the more concerning part to me,
Yeah.
right? Like the app companies themselves are going to sell this weird brand of security and love,
And they're
right?
going to tap into it's fear mongering because
100%.
our brain is built to be anxious. And
Right.
so it's trying to give that certainty of security and safety and all of those things. What are you going to do if they're like 500 miles away? Like there's very little that you can do.
It 100%
But
is correct.
maybe it's like, oh my gosh, I can call the police in that time. But I don't know,
But
whatever's.
again, if something major has happened, there's a real good chance the police already know about it.
Yeah.
And they're going to contact you eventually. So don't worry about it. And that's the thing. Like in the article, it was very interesting to read why the parents rationalized
So
this.
what were some of them?
Most of it was distance, right? It all started, well, they started going out more. So it was just nice to know where they were. And every single one of them cited in the article stated, it's not like I'm checking up on them, like, what are you doing? But it's just nice to know. Like every single one of them said the same thing. So then the question is, well, why do you need to know? Right? Like at the end of the day, would you check up on another adult in that way? Obviously, you answer that your parents do.
Yeah.
That's fine. But apply the same logic. If an adult came to your house and you said, you're leaving my house, I need your location so I know that you made it home safe. If someone said that to me, I would laugh. And there's a real good chance we wouldn't have further contact because that's weird. So why is it okay just because that person is your child? When they become an adult, you feel entitled to that. That was the crazy part to me. But every single one of them continued to rationalize it as the time went on. So it started with, well, they were going out of the village more. This was a British article, but they're going out of the village more. They were seeing friends further away. So it's just nice to know. Okay, well, where are they now? Well, now they go to school somewhere else, right? One of them's in Hertfordshire now. Okay, great. Why do you still need to know? Well, it doesn't matter. But I mean, if I see that she's home at 3 a.m, it's just nice to know she made it home. But again, why do you need to know, right? Like it's this weird big brother moment that they continue to rationalize. And the question the article answered at the end was, when do you, as that parent that has rationalized it for so long, when does it come to an end? At what point do you feel it's appropriate to finally say they're on their own? Because you're talking literally about people that are in their 20s now and their parents are still tracking them. So walking it through, obviously these people are doing it. How do they make that break?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, just don't start in the first place
Yeah.
if you've got younger kids. But it's their own discomfort of uncertainty. And maybe, and it turns into an OCD sort of compulsion that I need to check. And what are you going to do if they're not at home tonight? They're at a
100%.
stranger's place,
100%.
right? Like there's just so many violations of you're disrupting your relationship with your kid, and you're just creating your own, like you're just creating more stress for yourself too, really, at the end of the day, wondering where they are and do I say anything, don't I say anything, there's
Yeah.
all of those things. So it's just a matter of not doing it in the first place. There's no good reason why. And here's like, I just find there's so many yeah buts, and I do presentations all the time and I talk about what are the barriers that are getting in our way or in our kids' way of resilience. And our yeah buts, our adults parent yeah buts are the biggest thing because they yeah but everything. And so, I was just doing a presentation this week and I showed, as I do, kids 3 years old running an errand, going to the corner store by themselves. And parents are like, yeah, but, and then, I'm like, I'm just a messenger, but I do explain, like, it's not, you don't have to send them out, but maybe they can put on their own socks by themselves. But there's always parents who are, yeah, but you don't know, and they're justifying. And that is something you really need to take a look at. So maybe, but there's other things. So maybe there's a physical disability that they really cannot at this point. And I can still get them to do this, right? Like it's not a but, it's an and. But anyway, all of this to say, we got to look at our own justifications. And there's no real good justification. In our own mind, they rationalize it, but you are truly crippling your kids. You are violating that relationship and that trust. We want them to develop into independent successfully independent young adults. And we
Mhm.
are literally cutting them off at the knees when we're doing these things, if they're always monitoring. And we're just adding to the stress. If they're always, that's the problem. They're always being watched and monitored. Younger kids, there's just always someone watching them. Oh,
Mhm.
careful with the glass. Oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do this. As they get into school, right? Now we're in D2L. Oh, you've got homework tonight, or whatever it is. Like, it's just never stops. And
Yep.
then they go to work all day and they've got a boss over their shoulder. Like, it's just exhausting.
And I think there's a component of that. I think you've nailed exactly what I would have said too, but I think there's also a component of that was not only are you crippling them in their independence and violating kind of their right to independence, you're removing accountability from them as well,
Yeah.
because they don't have to worry about going too far because someone's always watching, right? They don't have the opportunity to make a bad decision that they can learn from because their parents are going to be out there on their phone going, where are you? Why are you doing that? What is happening? Who are you with? And you have to think about that. And at the end of the day, you nailed it when you said it's the parent needs to look at themselves, right? In terms of, we grew up, and we've talked about it before. My parents didn't have a clue where I was. They would give me instructions sometimes before I left the house. Don't go here, be back by this time, blah, blah, blah. Then it was whether I chose to listen to them or not, right? And if I got away with something, cool. If I didn't, there was consequences, right? But I had to navigate the rest of the day based on that flimsy little framework that they gave me. We're not doing that when we're constantly looking at people. And at the end of the day, I think you nailed it. What does it matter? If you left the house, which is rare, I'm just going to say.
Hey, I might tonight.
Who's going to drive you?
You.
Yeah, exactly.
I went last night too, but you also drove me.
Yes. Speaking of codependent. But listen, if you left the house, I don't care. Like, what am I hoping to check on? Like, you say, hey, I'm going to go to Sobeys, and you don't go to Sobeys. Okay. Right. You go to a hotel. Okay. What am I going to do with that information? Yeah. Right. Maybe you're sick of me and you just need a night at a hotel. Fine. Whatever. It could be something worse. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. All it does is creates a new avenue for you to be paranoid, me to be, in this example, to be paranoid, but stuff I really don't know what's going on. Your phone could be stolen and taken halfway across town, and I'm going to attribute that to you. Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any difference. Like, it is a symptom of a bigger problem, which is the access to instant information is believed to be necessary, and it is not.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's just that uncertainty. And I do like the fact that you brought up the accountability piece, because you're right. They're not going to take their parents' perspective. If I'm out all night and don't, like, these are for kids who are at home, and don't let my parents know, and parents are up, like, that's how they're going to learn their lesson. Now parents are up and they're worried, sick. I want my kid to feel so bad and guilty, right? Like, that's how they're going to learn from that behavior. But if parents are like, where are you at? And they never have that opportunity for parents to be scared and then angry, right? They're never learning. And parents are just the overbearing, monitoring,
nagging, annoying parent, you shift that dynamic,
and they never learn to be accountable and to take perspective and to take ownership and to even think in the first place, hey, I should let mom and dad know. It's just like, screw you. And then they're just going to go underground even more. They're going to turn off their tracking. They're going to unshare their location. They're going to leave their phone where they say they're going to be, and then they're going to leave. Like, they're going to skirt around the system.
100%. And it's going to make it worse for you, because you then are going to obsess about it even more as a parent.
Yeah. So, all of those things, if they don't want you to know where they are going to make sure that you don't know where they are.
Yeah. And you've done that to yourself.
We've just created those sneaky lying, unaccountability things. So, and the lack of empathy and all of that kind of stuff too.
100%. So, as a follow-up to that, there's another component to this on how you might be able to create a better relationship with your kid. And I've got a list, and you can rank them on what you think. Okay. This is the supplementary.
I do want to say my brother got a tracking for his birthday for his car keys. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, but your car keys aren't going to go out partying, so I don't think it's the same thing.
No, but I lose them all the time.
You lose everything. Where's your phone right now?
I don't know.
Literally, okay, she looked at the floor, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't look on the desk. She immediately looked on the floor. We're in a closet. Why would your phone be on the floor of a closet?
I don't know, but I don't even know where it is.
You don't.
But
And
so
if you
I check
do,
Google. Google, my phone is like the number one thing that I use daily.
it's unbelievable.
I know.
It's a $2,000 handset. You got no idea what it is. And when you pick it up, it's probably covered in flour and or sourdough yeast lately. Yeah.
Yeah, or peanut butter. Peanut butter is usually everywhere.
That is, yes.
I had chocolate on my hands actually right before coming in here. I don't know how I'm so messy. I'm so messy. Anyway.
It's part of your charm.
Yeah.
So here's 10 ways that I'm going to get you to rank. I'm going to say them, and you'll tell me if you think this is a good way to actually build a relationship with your kid.
Okay.
Okay. First, talk to them about non-school related subjects.
Sure, man.
Yeah? You like that one?
Well,
it's number one on this list. I'm not going in reverse.
Yeah. Oh, like these are in the top priority of building.
I don't know if they're ranked.
Yeah. We need to be able to we shoot the breeze with our kids all the time about, we barely talk about school. And the only time we talk about school is if they bring it up. Like yesterday, my daughter was so excited because everyone that she does not like went to the high school tour. She chose not to go just so she could have a day free. She got stuck her entire day with the one teacher she really does not like at all.
Yeah, I'd say he's the number 2 on the not like list. There's another one.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Oh, but she would have been with the other one if she had gone to
the. Which would have been awful.
Yeah.
And if any parents are here thinking, hey, I know your kid and my kid goes to your school and my kid went on that tour, real good chance that your kid is one of the ones she doesn't like. I'm kidding. I don't know.
That's a good topic too, actually. The conversation we had. Just do we text that parent or not?
No. I'm down.
Anyway,
I'm down.
Future.
All right. Number 2, let them teach you about their interests.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you prompt them on that? Because anytime we ask them, it's like, whatever, me. Or do you just have to wait organically for them to bring it up?
No, I would say like, tell me about, although the other day it turned into why are you asking me this? This is a really strange line of questioning. What's the purpose of this line of questioning, mother?
In her defense, you were asking with an ulterior motive.
I was.
We were she just picked up on the vibe. Like, I like that that's the example you go with.
But it was around her interests.
It was.
But no, like, so we do randomly bring up questions like, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite band? Like, whatever.
Yeah, we've even got the box of questions that come out every so often at dinner if we're just shooting.
So if you just make it part of the normal everyday, I mean, we do our date nights with the girls and we have 3 questions that we ask them. But even teaching, like painting, I'll talk to how do you do that? How do you do this? How did you do this? Right? Like about different techniques. Music's trickier. You're good with music. She brought me along on the F1 journey. I had no interest in F1 and she really brought me along on that one.
Yeah. So, and that's a fun one. Yeah. Isaac Hadjar went into the wall today in testing. Not good. Not good. He's a new Red Bull driver.
Yeah. Who did he replace?
He replaced Yuki. Yuki's out of Red Bull.
What's Yuki doing now?
Hanging out.
You never liked Yuki.
Yuki was a weird one.
Yeah.
His pictures at Suzuka are amazing.
He's funny. I just like that he always picked on the Australian dude.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a funny guy. But I never saw him as a serious contender. Number 3, remember things about their lives. This one seems like a given.
Yeah. But things that are important to them, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
So we might remember certain things, but if they were really worried about, like, a lot of times parents think things are so inconsequential, right? But even today, I'm like, hey, did so-and-so sit next to you? Because this was something last week. There was an incident with just a guy that she hangs out with in class.
Yeah.
Who ran into him outside of class with his girlfriend, but she knows the girlfriend.
That's right.
And then he got all awkward.
Yeah.
And then didn't talk to her. And then the next day in class, she was sure he was there, but he didn't sit next to her. But she didn't know. But today, actually, I was the next day and I'm like, so he was there? Oh yeah, it was all good. Right. So those little things, like, we might not realize are a big deal for them, but it really is. And it just shows that we're listening. And that's the big thing, that their number one need, and that goes with talking with them about
Yep.
their interests, talking with them about things that aren't school, things that are important to them, and then remembering things, they're feeling heard and understood. And I would say that's the number one thing kids don't feel with their parents. And that's why they've got this big wedge in their relationship with their parents because, well, is it Will Smith who's got parents just don't understand? Is it him?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a current reference. Absolutely. 35-year-old
Well,
rap song you're
whatever.
referencing.
But
A more
still,
current one would be Brooklyn Beckham's current fight with his parents, Posh and Bex. That's the more wedgy one right now.
I had no idea what words just came out of your mouth right now.
Talking about people, famous people.
Okay.
And
Well,
their famous offspring.
Anyway, yes.
How about share about your own life? I think we do this too much and they hate it. To be honest, I don't think they like this about us at all. But I will say, that was modeled for me by my parents. Like my parents were a pretty open book. And we've talked about it. I don't know if we talked about this, but we've talked about it in the past where I wasn't enamored with this idea that my parents were perfect, right? Like a lot of people grow up with a perception of their parents, then later in life, they're disappointed because they realize that their parents are human. I had the benefit of my parents were human. They struggled, they were bad at things, they were good at other things, but it allowed me to level set that for the most part, they were always trying to do their best, which makes it a lot easier. And through that, like the way they did that was a lot of sharing and a lot of open conversations and conversations that most parents would probably shy away from.
Like what?
Previous relationship stuff. Like mom would tell us all about growing up, how things went, people, how they treated her, stuff that wasn't like complaining, was more, this is why I'm this way, or this is why I don't like this. And you go, okay, off you go, right? You would understand it a bit better. I think that to me was a big component.
Yeah. I think we just got to know like what the purpose is of sharing stuff. If we're looking for a specific reaction or empathy, then that's not necessarily good. I mean, I'm always open if the girls are asking. They love hearing stories about our childhood and things like that.
Yeah.
Or if there's big ticket things and we want to share, like I find one child shows more interest than the other, but that's okay.
And that's age specific too, right? The sometimes the other one isn't that interested. It flip-flops. Sometimes they're very interested, sometimes they are not.
That's true.
I would say as a curtail to that, another one on this list is tell hilarious and even embarrassing stories about yourself.
Oh yeah, we have no problem with that.
Yeah, unfortunately. And they bring it back up.
They love, yeah, being able to tease or just hear those stories.
Oh, yeah.
They love that.
And with that, another one, I'm finding this is a list of 5 with repeats. Share inspirational stories from your life. So how frequently do you think you do that?
Not too often, I would say. Although things that I don't think that they're interested in, like I didn't realize me being in the army was such a big deal for Maya.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't really talk about my army days so much, but she really does. Like, I wouldn't say that she feels proud of her mom, but that is something for some reason I really do think. Like, that's when I see where she brings that up and she's like, yeah, I actually think that's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting because I never would have thought that. And it was just recently that she had said something because she was talking about her friends about me or something.
When she went out for drinks that night.
Whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Like you're talking about me? She's like, yeah, like it's pretty awesome that you.
She flexes about you a fair amount.
And so we don't realize that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So I guess, yeah, like if it's, again, we got to look at the function. And a lot of this, it's just being able to reciprocate. Yep. It's being listened to and feeling heard for them. But then it is that reciprocity, right? That mutual collaborative sort of relationship. And it's like the boundaries and hierarchies are sort of coming down and they do realize that we're just people and we have stories. And if we're pushing it on them, that's not cool. Mm-hmm. If we have a lesson we're trying to teach them, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But if it's just coming up and like shooting the breeze and, and they're in the moment. Like I know Maya loves hearing grandpa's stories about the war or, like whatever it is. So like great grandpa, I should say, like I think if they're open and receptive and curious, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think you nailed it. And I think a lot of these, there's a reason why I brought this list up as well. You're kind of going in that direction. I'll skip over number 8 because it doesn't really need any explanation with you as as a parent. It's called do crazy things. So we'll just move on from that. That's
What does that mean? What does that mean?
adventure.
Yeah.
Adventure.
I know what that means, but for the listener, what does that mean?
The children have become accustomed to the fact that their mother, the woman that brought them into this world, what'd you do with your water?
I don't know where my water is, but I'm really thirsty. But that's okay.
Brought them into this world, is impulsive and likes to do things all over the place. Some well received, not usually. Most not well received in the moment because it usually embarrasses them or puts them in danger. And so they get all upset about it. But yeah, number 8's all about you, babe. Do crazy things.
Do they have examples of what crazy things are?
No, it just says do crazy things. Okay. Number 8.
And I think it's just the novelty, right? Because we get into monotonous grinds. And so just go do something different. It's that novelty is very stimulating and builds the relationship.
Yeah. And then you've already touched on a couple of these. So I'll mention them, but you don't have to address them. Use their interest in your lessons and activities. You've already done that, right? Take an interest in what they're doing. And then the last one, I think, is probably the most important, is apologize when you mess up. And we've talked about this in completely different things. So the reason why I brought this in as part of the additional piece is, to me, this seems like a fairly good guideline for the things you should be doing, as opposed to potentially eroding this. Like, if you do these things, you don't need to track your kids. Your kids will talk to you. They will explain to you what they're doing. They will ask you for advice. They will look to you for direction. If these things are things that you struggle with, you're going to need an app to track your kid, and it is going to make it harder for you long term.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
You've created this relationship of the monitoring and supervising and just that like dictator sort of role. And I will say, I work with so many families and not so much the younger kids, but definitely once they get into tweens and teens, where the kids don't want anything to do with parents. And I think we have this false belief that kids just don't want anything to do with their parents once they hit a certain age. And I'm here to tell you that is not true.
Yeah.
They do want you more than anything, but we push them away with, because we're not doing these things. Mm-hmm. We're not chatting with them and getting to their level. And it's not that we're being friends, because we still need to have boundaries, those types of things, but it's not so strict. And I just feel so grateful that our girls still love talking with us, because I do have so many who they come home, they go straight to their room, they're on their phone, they don't want to talk, they don't want to spend time, and they're not, even if they're depressed and suicidal, the last thing that they want to do is talk to parents. But our kids, like, the first thing is they come up to my office if I'm home to debrief their day. Even tonight, Willow wants to go to the mall with me. She's like, so we're gonna go? I'm like, do you want to go? She's like, yeah, if you're tired, I suppose I can try to find a friend if you'd prefer, but yeah, I would really like to go with you. Like, what teenager does that, right?
Yeah. Maya called me last night to debrief on her drive home because she wanted to talk.
Yeah.
And that went great until my wife absolutely submarined me in the kitchen, and the children were upset with me for the rest of the night. So listen attentively, dear listener. Make sure you find a partner that's not going to torpedo you in front of the kids.
I was joking.
She looked hurt. You owe me an apology. That's a whole different podcast. You owe me an apology.
She was fine. She knew I was joking. She put on her big puppy dog eyes.
She sure did.
I essentially just told Maya that Dad did want her to move out.
And that was incorrect and not even close to the conversation we had. You set me up.
But you had already planned out what she's going to do with her room.
So mean. You just roasted me. But the one thing I will say was it was kind of nice, because the only way she kind of smiled and moved on was I had to reassure her that no, they're welcome here as long as they want. And even Willow, as she wandered to another room, said, you're not kicking me out anytime soon. I said, no, you can stay as long as you want, kid. Thankfully, there's an economy right now that means they won't ever be able to leave us. So we're kind of going to benefit from that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm fortunate. And it's because we have done these things, right? Yeah. We do show an interest. We're not hovering and monitoring. And
they'll call us on it when we're not. That's the one thing about our kids is if I'm not paying attention and they tell me something, they will call me out on it. Like, well, it'd be nice if you listen to me. Oh, and then, no, say it again, right? Like, I'm sorry. But that's an accountability thing in itself, right? So focus on that. Focus on being accountable to your kids. Focus on keeping your kids accountable by setting up the framework. don't rely on outside sources or tools to do it for you, and don't feel you need to know every single little thing. We grew up not knowing these things.
Yeah.
Our parents did not know these things. You do not need to know these things. And frankly, you are crippling your kids if you are overbearing like
We've
that.
survived hundreds of thousands of years here. And they do want to like the reason I don't need to know where my kids are because I already know. And
Yeah.
I trust that they
Yeah.
have told us, right?
And
And things do change.
totally. The only time I've had to address it was the younger one disappeared for a few hours. And when I finally got a hold of her, I'm like, dude, you just got to tell me.
Yeah.
I don't need to keep tabs, but none of us knew what your plan was today. Okay, sorry, I apologize. Cool, that's it. Just tell me, because I could be across the city if you needed a ride and I can't, you know what I mean? Like it could be whatever. And that's more about communication than being on top of it. So all right, good day.
Good day.